This is Sunday, February the 23rd. So this is a report for Friday, February the 21st. And I wanted to wait until the market had closed. The market had opened. And you can see that we are down in the E-mini futures 35 points. So that's going to be quite significant. That takes us down to 33.03. So let's remember that number when we get to the SPX, 33.03. Right now, as of Friday, you can see that the market dropped and then just flatlined pretty much everywhere. The drop was at the open and then flatlined. And now is that going to happen tomorrow? Lots of red on the streets. Where was the green? A little bit in healthcare, a little bit in utilities, not very much in financials. All the financials were red, except for Wells Fargo. But then they had that announcement Friday night about $3 billion, so we'll see. Anyways, advancers and decliners, 70% to 30%. But on the New York Stock Exchange, it was a little bit more radical than that. It was 2,000 to 883, substantially to the decliners. So that brings the oscillator halfway between the neutral line and the oversold line. So what we were saying for the last week is that the bears were fully in charge because we were never able on any of the rallies to move money into the market to break that trend line that went from here to here to here. And there was a video last weekend that explained, where we've seen those in the past, like right here, 1, 2, 3. Anyways, take a look at that video. But surely the bulls have it in hand, and now we're down to 32.98. So the market is now down 40 points. This is the coronavirus concerns. Now we have cases in Italy. So therefore, the spread through the EU can happen quite rapidly. Now let's go to the S&P. The S&P did what we said it would do. We said before we would have a breakout, if we would have a breakout, we would come back and test the top of our last Fibonacci line that we had broken away from with this cup and sort of handle. We actually did end up getting a handle, not a flat handle along the top of the cup, but we've had the flat handle here. Usually a cup and handle, according to Investors Business Daily, will break to the upside. They didn't figure on virus pandemics at that time. So we can say that we've fulfilled that prediction, but now we're going to open around 3,300. So remember, we've been waiting for a long time, since last mid-October, before the S&P candles touched the cloud. And it's the same time back in October when it broke over the 50. So we're coming back to test the 50. The 50 tomorrow is in the range of 32.66, and the market is currently trading at 32.95. So there's every opportunity tomorrow to test the 50, and then the cloud is not far behind. That's going to be a major test. Once we fall into the cloud, I just want to sell everything, and I will start stepping out of things tomorrow. I don't really hold very much now. It's just call spreads. Apple down 312.29. Fairly substantial volume. Coronavirus there. Caterpillar actually had a good day. If you look at it, it jumped off of its lows and it finished up at the top range of its daily trading. So that's not too bad. We're going to come back to Cisco and SPLK pretty soon. Just a second. Shopify had a fairly bad day. Not as bad as Thursday, and it recovered off of its lows, but it's not going to be helped by the conditions in the market tomorrow. Tesla, I don't even want to look at Tesla anymore. I'm out of Tesla. It's just too wild a stock, and there's as many people buying it as there are shorting it. So I'm going to take Tesla out of my review and put it down here. Whirlpool, still trading in that channel, not much to see there. So there's really nothing of opportunity. Let's look at the stocks that I think are going to be a focus, which is the cybersecurity stocks. And if we look at SPLK, where I have a few contracts, came back to look for support on the 161.8% and didn't find it, fell below that. So let's keep an eye on it. There wasn't any news per se, and the volume really wasn't that high. Cisco certainly isn't having any fortune either. It's using the top of the cloud and the bottom of the cloud as resistance and support. But if you look at its stochastics, it's certainly oversold on the short term, not quite yet oversold on the long-term trend indicator. The market is now down to 32.90. So this is the point where I usually say, so what's going to happen tomorrow? Well, we already know. The market is in for a rough ride all of this week, and it won't be necessarily about Bernie Sanders winning the Democratic nomination. It'll all be about containment of the coronavirus and what it could do to Chinese productivity, global travel, and eventually the ability of the American consumer to get the goods that they're looking for. And if the virus starts spreading across the United States, then all of those things are going to affect American travel, American shopping, and American ability to produce goods. So that was pretty brief. Let's take a look tomorrow, but I wouldn't be buying anything tomorrow. I'd be looking for areas to sell calls against any open positions that I have.